Howdy folks, I'm Cranky Corn, cautiously cartwheeling across crooked cornfields in confusing conditions.
I'm Amber.
And here are more confusing conditions for us to cartwheel across because that'll confuse anyone. You get your brain all scrambled up. Let's get started.
Or you just get motion sick.
Alright folks, and our first letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Charging My Wife Rent to Live in Our House? So my wife, a 28-year-old female, and I, a 30-year-old male, recently moved into a house that I inherited from my parents. It's fully paid off, and I pay for all the utilities, maintenance, etc. I work a high-paying job, and my wife works part-time by choice. She likes to have time for her hobbies and social life. We have no kids. Since the house is technically mine, I felt that it was fair to ask my wife to contribute by paying rent to me about 30% of what she earns from her job. I think that it's reasonable because I take care of everything else financially, and this would give her a sense of responsibility and contribute towards our lifestyles. Plus, I put a lot of effort in maintaining this property, which she benefits from. She got really upset when I brought it up, saying that it's our house and we should be sharing everything. She also pointed out that she's been cooking, cleaning, and managing the household, but I see that as just a part of being married. I don't expect anything extra for doing yard work or fixing stuff around the house, so why should her chores be considered payment? She called me selfish and accused me of treating her like a tenant rather than a partner. I just think that it's fair that she pulls her weight financially. Am I the jerk for asking my wife to pay rent in the house that I own? Alright folks, what do you think of this one?
Yes, you're the jerk. Now, if you feel like she's not contributing financially, maybe there are some bills she could take on, but maybe you also need a redistribution of housework if she's doing basically all the labor and you're doing like the occasional leaf raking or something.
Well, I think this is a tricky situation, right? I think that OP isn't seeing the full picture here. He's saying, on one hand, oh, it's only part of marriage that she does the cooking, cleaning, and managing the household, but then turns around and says, well, it's without realizing the irony in the way that he's saying it, that being part of a relationship in a marriage also is sharing and cohabiting a space, right? And splitting utilities and bills and whatnot equitably, I think, would be fair, but I think having her pay extra that you aren't incurring any kind of cost on would be unfair.
Well, that's the thing exactly, is like the house is paid off. There is no mortgage to pay, and so it's not like she's contributing to a mortgage. You are just treating her like a tenant.
Yeah.
And it feels really gross to charge your wife rent. Like, again, if you feel like you want her to pay some bills, like maybe kick into the utilities or something, that might be worth having a discussion around in proportion to your relative incomes. But again, that also, I feel like maybe the chores need to be redistributed in that case, because if she's doing all the chores basically, then it's not really fair to also expect her to contribute a significant amount financially.
Well, and I think he's also kind of neglecting the idea that, for instance, she does all these chores, right? So that he can go to his high earning job and earn money, right?
Right, yeah, the labor she is doing is valuable. If you were hiring a housekeeper to do all this and a cook and everything, it would cost him a heck ton of money.
Yeah, or if he had to take time away from work to do all these extra chores, it would also cost him money, probably, depending on if he's salaried or not, right? But it would certainly add to his stress level. And I think that he's really overlooking the importance of what she's doing at home. And I think, again, like you said, maybe this is a time for them to look at how everything is being distributed in the household. Chores, finances, all those kinds of things. Maybe they need to sit down and say, well, here's XYZ amount of bills, and here's how we should distribute, finances in them. The house has, property taxes that need to be paid. It has, annual maintenance fees of around this and that. Here, if you paid this much into our, joint fund every month, then that would help cover those costs and unexpected expenses, right? I don't think it's unreasonable for him to ask her for money for joint expenses, right? But again, where I kind of draw the line and where it feels like he's saying is that, oh, I just want to charge her rent money because she's a tenant.
Right, and it makes it feel like it's not her house, like she's just a renter in this house. And even if her name is not on the house, like, you jointly live there as a couple. You shouldn't be treating her as lesser than, and you shouldn't be using the house as leverage.
Yeah. But folks, let's see what the Wheel of Judgment has to say. Wheel of Judgment, turn, turn, turn. Tell us the judgment OP's earned. A saint but misunderstood.
No. The wheel is doing a very bad job right now.
Wheel, what is wrong with you, Wheel? No. Maybe the Wheel's talking about the wife.
Yeah, we'll hope the wheel is talking about the wife.
All right, folks, and our next letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Calling My Friend a Creepy Weirdo After She Posted a TikTok About My Husband? I am a 28-year-old female, and I'm friends with this girl. We'll call her June, also a 28-year-old female. In fact, my husband, a 32-year-old male, and I often hang out with June and her boyfriend. For example, go on double dates, have a weekend trip, etc. We've known each other for over 2 years. I would say that we four were pretty tight as a group up until this weekend. My husband is an orthodontist. One of his patients is June's half-sister, Rhea, a 12-year-old female. June is often the one accompanying Rhea to her dental appointments. June is also a small-time online influencer. She's always recording and vlogging stuff, though my husband and I have made it very clear to her that we're absolutely not okay with our faces in her vlogs online, and she seems to respect that boundary. We don't use social media apart from Reddit, and we trusted her word that she's not going to post us online. Cut to last weekend, my brother sent me this TikTok linked with a message, dude, you've got to watch this. I opened the link and it directed me to June's TikTok account. She doesn't have many followers, less than 10,000, but in the particular video that he sent me, it had like 500,000 views and likes. I'm not sure which. Lo and behold, it was a video compilation of my husband with the title, God, I see what you've done for others. The video was honestly the creepiest thing that I've ever seen. She had recorded my husband during various double dates together, and it was clear that he wasn't even aware that he was being recorded. In some of the clips, she would start with her face and then pan the camera towards my husband with a cutesy expression, mouthing the words like, oh my God. The worst one was where he was working on her half-sister, Rhea, wearing scrubs, and she recorded even that. She didn't even bother to blur out the kid's face while she was lying in the dental chair. I showed the video to my husband and he was horrified. He said it made him so uncomfortable and violated knowing that someone had been secretly recording him. He was angry that she would record him working on a patient. He texted her to take down the video and delete every video she had of him. First, she feigned ignorance. Then, she said that it meant no harm and it was all for online engagement since, I quote, TikToks with hot guys go viral very fast, and that she would gain a lot of followers from posting that. This was also weird, but my husband and I got our families and friends to report the video, and thankfully it's being taken down. This made June mad, and she sent me a long text saying how I was jealous of her online success, that I couldn't stand seeing her succeed, blah blah blah. I replied, you're delusional and unhinged, you're not successful and you'll never be. Stay away from us, you creepy weirdo. Now she's all weepy and depressed, and has been telling her common friends how I was mean to her. She's also been posting about her mental health on her socials and about how mean some women are with their words. Am I the jerk? All right, folks, what do you think?
I mean, I don't think OP is in the wrong for not wanting her to do this. I think that it was a horrible thing she did. And while I think, some of the things OP said weren't necessarily kind and she could have chosen her words better, it was absolutely creepy. It's not okay to take creep videos of someone, especially at their place of employment, and upload them without their consent. It is really creepy. It is not okay, and she's doing it only for her own benefit.
So the big thing that I have a problem with here is the recording of the doctor while they're working on their patient. Mm-hmm. This would probably be a violation of HIPAA, and it could actually get him to lose his license, right? So this could actually be a really big deal. So I would not be surprised if he were, horrified by this because of the implications and the privacy concerns here, right? So on top of all of the other things here, it just is not a good form for OP to record a doctor working on a patient, right? There needs to be waivers signed, there needs to be all kinds of things here. And she didn't do her due diligence in this case, and I think that is going to really be it's really problematic. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. And Alvin Pin 7318 says, "Not the jerk. You and your husband had set clear boundaries, and she violated those boundaries. This shows that she does not respect you at all. I recommend cutting her off entirely, as anyone who disturbs your peace is not worth your time." And OP replies, "Yes, we're cutting her off entirely. I don't know if her boyfriend is aware of this or not, but I guess he'll have to be collateral damage, because I don't want her to weasel her way back into our lives after this." And Lazuli Rose says he might need to drop the half-sister as a patient and or tell the parents that June is not allowed to accompany her anymore. I agree that she's a creepy weirdo. If she can't get follows or likes without lying and getting consent from people to be recorded, then she needs to find a new career. And OP replies, "Yes, he's in the process of informing her parents. I don't think that he's going to drop her as a patient, as her treatment is almost done, and it's going to be a hassle for her to find a new orthodontist." Alright folks, and our next letter is titled, "Am I a jerk for not supporting my wife's opportunity for a year-long appointment out of state? I'm a 33-year-old male, and my wife is a 33-year-old female, and we live in the Midwest. She's a professor at an R1 university. I'm in finance, and my job is mostly remote. We ended up here because this is where my job placed me after graduation. Married 11 years, she did her PhD here and got hired at an institution after graduation. Our kids are 8-year-old female, a 6-year-old male, 4-year-old male, a 3-year-old female, a 3-year-old male, and a 4-month girl. The gist of it is that she's been informally offered a spot as a visiting scholar at one of the most elite institutions on the East Coast, the USA, perhaps even the Earth. It's a 14-hour drive, 2.5-hour flight, and she has to go through the formality of applying, but her contact told her that she'll get a spot if she wants it. The appointment is for the 25 to 26 year, and it would be from late August 2025 until May 2026. I'm more than capable of flying solo. We're a pretty equitable household. We have to be. We have 6 kids. That's really not what this is about. My concern is that our youngest will be a little over a year when she leaves, and even our oldest is not even that old. We have very young kids in general, but primarily it can't be healthy for a 1-year-old for their parent to just disappear for several months. I understand that this happens for soldiers and death, but those people don't have choices. She's choosing to leave her children for a better part of a year. She's already a professor at a good school, but says that having this on her resume will enhance her CV when she goes up for tenure in a couple of years. I want to be supportive, and I see the utility in the assignment, but I just don't think that it's a good idea for her to leave for that long. She says that I'm being unsupportive, and threw in my face that she followed me to the state after graduation 11 years ago in my face. We are both from the same town that we went to college in. Am I being unreasonable? She would take a sabbatical from her current job at 3/4 pay and also receive a salary from the term of the appointment for the visiting job." All right, folks, what do you think?
I mean, I think OP is being a little bit of a jerk here in that he's not even looking at potential compromises. He works remotely, it sounds like. So why couldn't the family, like, and she would be getting 2 salaries for this time too. So they could keep their house here and maybe all of them go with her to her new position, rent a place. It wouldn't necessarily be cheap, but if they had a long-term rental for those 10 months, they could all be together. The kids wouldn't have to be separated from their mom, and she could get to pursue her dream.
Yeah, I think that there is a compromise in all of this somewhere, right? She could either fly back, once a month or something like that and be able to visit with the kids, right? And maybe it's not going to be very long that she's able to fly back and visit with them, but she might be able to either take a week or a weekend or something like that. And a lot of times the semesters have a week break within them, right? So there's like Christmas break and there's spring break and all those kinds of things. So it isn't going to be a constant year without seeing the kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, or like Amber is saying, they could try to pack up and, shutter the house and find a long-term rental solution. They're going to have to find some kind of rental place for the wife to stay there anyways, right? So, if it makes sense, maybe it makes sense for them to try flying out there or driving out there and, have the kids live there for a little while. And maybe that might be inconvenient for OP and his job, but it sounds like his wife inconvenienced herself to come out here too, right?
Right, and that's the thing I don't like, is he seems very dismissive in his comments too of the sacrifices that she did make for him to go
Mm-hmm.
with him for his job. And now that he has the opportunity to do the same, like I can understand not wanting to permanently relocate to the East Coast. That would be, a big change, and there may be reasons not to uproot the family. But a 10-month appointment, it has a very clear start and end date, and I don't think it's like, I understand it's a big ask, but I don't think it's that unreasonable for her to want to pursue this dream.
Mm-hmm. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. Alright folks, and our last letter is titled, Today I Messed Up by Turning My Cat into an iPad Kid. Recently, my TV broke, so I decided it would be cool to replace it with a projector. A few days ago, the projector arrived, and I spent a few hours setting it up to play around with it. Then I had the bright idea of putting on one of those videos made for cats, the ones with insects, lasers, and mice, to see how my cat would react. She loved it. Naturally, I let her watch for about an hour before turning it off for the night. She protested a little bit, but it was nothing too serious. At least not compared to what was coming. Over the next few days, I foolishly let her watch the projector a few more times, thinking that it was hilarious how excited she was about her new toy. However, as time went on, she started to get a bit more vocal, growling and meowing at me to get my attention. I soon realized it was because of the ads. She was throwing tantrums because she couldn't stand watching them and waiting. Now she complains whenever I turn it off, or she gets interrupted, and bonus points, my YouTube now thinks that I'm a cat. Alright folks, what do you think of this story?
I think it's funny and cute. Yeah, that's all I have to say.
Yeah, I think it's a nice, fun, light story, and it's cute. And I'm glad that OP's cat has something to do. And I mean, I guess the only caution I have here is that while these things can be fun, OP should make sure that they're entertaining their cat in other ways and stimulating them mentally in other ways. It could
Mm-hmm.
be that part of the reason why the cat likes this stuff is because they're not getting enough mental stimulation through the day, and this is serving as some kind of substitute for that mental stimulation.
Right, or even physical
Mm-hmm.
stimulation, if they're able to like chase the bugs on the wall or something.
Mm-hmm. So it might be worth figuring out other toys that the cat likes to help them, get stimulated and actually exercise and stuff like that. And maybe they'll not enjoy the TV quite as much. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. All right, folks, it is tea time. Grab your beverages of choice. I've got some tea right here, and Amber, she has a joke.
My dad thinks my runny nose is funny, but it's snot.
I mean, that wasn't too bad. That wasn't too bad. I almost said that it was a jovial Bob sign joke just because of it. I was like, jovial Bob sign, you strike again. But I realized before I said it that it is indeed not a jovial Bob sign joke. It just happens to be something that sounds like jovial Bob sign.
Mm-hmm.
And I have licorice spice. Alright, folks, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for watching. Happy Special Sunday, folks. And you know what makes it special? You do, and Amber does too.
And Brian does too.
Amber, we need some kind of moral advice and or guidance. And please, have it involve cats watching projectors.
It's fine to let your cats have a little screen time, but make sure that they are getting proper needs met otherwise too.
I think that's a great moral. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you all tomorrow. Amber doesn't want to say goodbye, folks.
Oh, bye.